But now let's invite our today's panelists to the stage. The first one of them is Professor Jaan Aru.
Professor Jaan on Tartu Ülikooli
Jaan Aru is a professor at the Institute of Computer Science at the University of Tartu who has researched the brain, cognition, and artificial intelligence. He has received several awards for his work in popularizing science. He has written books on brain and mind, creativity and free time, leisure time, and a book for children entitled The Skillful Brain. He has also received the President's Cultural Foundation Young Scientist Award and the National Science Prize. Our next panelist is Professor Gert Järvan.
Professor Gert on IT-teaduskonna dekaan.
Professor Gert Järvan is the Dean of the School of IT. He is also a member of the Informatics Europe Council and a long-standing expert on the European Commission. As a Dean of the school, he is responsible for around 2,500 students and 400 staff members. His research focuses on the reliability and dependability of IT systems. In addition to his role as a lecturer and researcher, he regularly lectures on technology challenges and AI. He has co-authored the university's strategic plan twice.
Birgi Lorenz.
As next in our panel, Birgi Lorenz.
Birgi on Tallinna Tehnikaülikooli vanemteadur.
Senior Research Fellow, the head of the IT Didactics Center and Vice Dean of Undergraduate Studies at the School of IT, focusing on cybersecurity, computer science, and education, and the application of AI. She's dealing with development of young cyber talent and is developing models for using AI to personalize learning in general education, increase motivation to learn, and support teachers. Birgi Lorenz research focuses on how teachers and educators can use AI in a safe and ethical way, taking into consideration data protection and digital hygiene principles. In addition, she's analyzing the influence of AI to future work and entrepreneurship, especially in the field of cybersecurity.
Järgmisena Tarmo Koppel.
Next in line in our panel is Tarmo Koppel.
Tarmo Koppel on ärikorralduse.
He is a lecturer at the Institute of Business Administration and a PhD student at the Institute of Software Science. He teaches courses in digital transformation, software technologies, and business AI. He's in close contact with companies and other organizations, conducting both customized training as well as mentoring on how to get involved in the AI revolution. His research focuses on virtual assistants and, more broadly, on business applications of large-scale language models and multimodal models. And last but not least, let's invite the moderator, Professor Tanel Tammet, to the stage.
Tanel Tammet on Tehnikaülikooli rakendusliku
tehisintellekti applied AI professor at the TalTech, as well as a member of the university board, as well as Estonian Research Council. His research focuses on machine learning and neural networks in symbol and rule-based systems. He has participated in many practical IT projects in the private sector as well as in the state sector, has been compiling study curriculum and programs, and also has been supporting BA and MA curricular development. Big round of applause to our panelists. And I would now like to also say that during the panel, you can scan the QR code on the slides and in the Slido environment to ask questions. But now the moderator has the floor. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for this introduction. And I am very happy to see that after lunch, it seems that this hall is even more crowded, so more people in the audience. And please do use the Slido code in order to ask questions so that I can ask them out loud here on the stage. About this topic, it seems to me that in case of AI and education, it's the best panel that you can imagine that have gathered here today. All these people on the stage have been dealing with this topic and are excellent top specialists in this field from different points of view. So I do believe that we perfectly cover the spectrum of this panel, and it's a very nice point to move forward and study more. I'm going to do it in a way that I will give all of you a couple of words for introduction as to where we are today and where are we moving to. And thereafter, let's go into more detail, after which we continue with your questions, which I believe are going to be very relevant. And I would like to start by saying perhaps a bit how to structure this topic. It is my view that the question of AI is the most important topic in education in today's world. It is the place where AI has really had a great impact already to our society and to our culture, knowing that, first of all, it's going to cause a major problem. We cannot give homework anymore the way we used to, so bad thing. At the same time, AI can be used very well in the study process, teaching process, which is quite complicated, because we have to ask questions about what to teach at all, because when the world is rapidly changing, we cannot prognose what these changes are going to be like. It is quite complicated, and all of these issues are quite burning. In the last 100 years, I would say, there have not been such developments with such rapid influence. So let's start with Tarmo. What are your thoughts? Thank you very much, Tanel. Some people have said that development and elaboration of AI has had more impact than the use of fire and control of the use of fire by humanity. So it is influencing us all more even than in comparison with when electricity started to be used. Recently, former Google CEO Eric Spitz said quite seriously that each year we'd expect at least 30% productivity increase when this technology is adopted. Then I believe that us as a university, we have a very strong responsibility in front of the society in order to use and adopt this technology in the best manner. My job is to teach students, supervise their thesis, conduct research myself. I also train management and personnel of different enterprises. A couple of weeks ago, I even gave a training to Estonian judges. And so I see from these audiences, everybody recognizes that this is my moment, this is my opportunity, and this is something I would like to do. Not to all of the staff members it applies, but at least the people who have been at my trainings, I have seen this reaction. And it is our task to teach a new generation of professionals who can manage processes, for instance, business processes, in the new era of artificial intelligence. But there are definitely some threats in this technology. First of all, definitely how people will react to this and how open they are to use this technology. Not everybody is treating this situation open-handedly and with open arms. Of course, critical approach is always a good thing to have. But there are enterprises who think that this is technology that I can buy and I will press the button and it starts earning money for me without me actually needing to develop or make additional investments of time, energy, and studying. And the second aspect is our legal context, laws. For automation of processes, Asian and US companies can do different things from us Europeans. Because it's the first time we have a more broader framework that organizes or structures the situation from the legal point of view. It's the AI legal framework from the EU. Thinking about my colleague, the professor from California University, who said that the politicians do not understand what AI is because they want to regulate and over-regulate it and thus lose part of its potential. One of my MA students, Ella-Lynn Adelbert, who works at Swedbank in HR management, defended her master's thesis with an excellent grade, and her research illustrated that with this technology we have today already, we can fully automate the recruitment processes already. When people apply for jobs, there are hundreds, sometimes even 500 CVs that people need to go through in the HR department. We wanted to understand whether AI can do the same work as human HR specialists can today. And we zoomed in and saw that AI was not fully able to do the same job, but the difference was very small between a human being, let's say a human being evaluated CV with 4.3, AI did it with 4.25 points. So actually it is capable technology already now. Thank you very much. The next panelist, please. Yes, I worry. I believe that we have taken steps to AI already. Us that we are on the panel, and we discuss what the next 2 or 3 steps could be. But there are some people who have tried using AI and have had negative experiences. It used to be the case also with Google Maps trying to figure out what your home is like. But why would you need to use Google Maps for that? You know where your home is already. So many people have used AI in order to make searches about themselves. This doesn't take you anywhere. And in order to communicate with the AI in a way that you could actually make use of what it provides to you, prompting is something which people cannot do. Young people come to our classes and give us information because they're much more skillful in this. As a teaching staff, you have to validate this information, and students just throw information at you, and just validation is the biggest part for many teaching staff because the students just hope to get by, sometimes with easier means. But we now need to evaluate whether it's good or not. So very many disturbing consequences. We don't know how to use it exactly. We don't know how to use it ourselves. So how do we know how to teach people based on this? And if you have a look at at what is going to happen next. Today we are in the trap of generative AI, and I do have faith in Jaan that you will help us try to make this new world understandable. We, of course, prompt put something in there, and I'm not going to use everybody's permission whether I can use AI because I want to use it. And then I believe that I should now pass the floor on to get Järvan, who would like to continue from here. Yes, thank you very much. And hello from my side as well. I believe that if we take a look at AI, as it was said already before, I believe it's one of the groundbreaking changes in technology in case of human history. But the problem at the moment is that we do not understand this technology well today. I like the co-founder Jack Clark of one of the major language learning models provider, who said that we study AI today the way biologists study human beings under a microscope. But think about if you put the whole human being under a microscope, what is the small, very, very small picture you will see? The same is true about AI. If we zoom in so tightly, we don't understand what it's capable of, and we don't understand this technology. So on the one hand, this is a very empowering tool. On the other hand, we are by far, far away from understanding why it works the way it works and how. And this Jack idea that we are doing animal testing on human beings versus we are doing testing on AI, the parallel is correct. But we do advance ourselves as well. It's not only tool, but when AI is going to be more mature, we will see more and different approach to the whole process. Understanding what we do on a daily basis will be completely changed. So I'm 100% convinced that this classical role of a teaching staff will be changed completely. Our today's model of study is basically on the level of ancient Greece, where Aristotle sits together with his disciples and basically do the same thing today as well. So now we see the change in this world. The question is to understand and manage this new situation. But for this, we need to understand the intelligence as well as also artificial intelligence. And Jaan Aru is here to speak about those things. Yes, thank you very much. A nice wordplay. I understand that my name, Aru, which means intelligence, is here why you have invited me here. But I'd like to start from what the President of Estonia said about AI in our speech for the anniversary of the Republic. And he said, and I reformulate, that smart people do not use machines in order to do their work of thinking, but just increase our upsides and reduce the negative sides of activities. And the nice question, it's a very nice formulation, but the question is how exactly. So in order to amplify our strengths and reduce our weaknesses, well, how does it in practical life work this way? One example. I thought about these topics about a month ago. I was on the bus prepared for a lecture, and I saw in diagonal there was a student sitting in front of us, a Tartu University student, so not your student, but our student, and prompted to chat GPT an article and said something like, write me a 3-pager on this article. Thereafter, he said, based on this summary, make me slides of this text. It was not the end of it. Then he prompted, write me the gist of my talk on each of the slides. And this was the point where I thought, wait, when I have told my students make presentations about something, then I assume that when they present the slides to me, they understand what they will be saying. But actually, no, AI can also present the arguments and they will just read them for me. And it was not the end of it either. He also prompted, please write me questions that audience can ask me, and please also provide answers to these questions. So on the one hand, it was quite smart, but on the other, it's a very good example of when the president said that we should use AI in order to amplify our strengths and get rid of our weaknesses. It seemed to me that he went the opposite way. He actually amplified the weaknesses, and his strength he lost completely. Because the strength, and we can go into details with this later, but if we want to, we can think in more complicated terms, move on and put some effort into this. Or weakness is that our brains are lazy and usually don't want to. And this is the way he went, unfortunately. So we do see that there's a threat in our university, in yours as well. Which research shows that as well, that our students use this a lot. If we don't do anything now, it's bad. So one reason of why the president wanted the AI leap to come into being, that we would make a change in this respect. And my point is that we should give students the study application which amplify their strengths in a teaching and study situation. If this picks up and if it's successful, we have next problem. Because then to the university, for instance, to TalTech students that have used AI to learn to study better. And then at the university, they cannot continue the same way when the teaching staff is not on this level as well. So it seems that we are in a bad situation, or rather in an interesting point where AI makes us smarter or it amplifies our natural stupidity.
As Jan's name cropped up in discussion, I want to share an experience with colleagues. I used the term artificial intelligence, and they said artificial mind, and they said no, you should say artificial intelligence. I said I will carry on saying what I meant. I will take some questions because there seems to be a popular question from the audience, which seems appropriate. What are the three most important challenges related to AI in the Estonian education landscape that will come up in the upcoming 3 to 5 years? If you will not come up with three, mention one or two. I can follow up from my own points. His first point is if we do nothing, everything will go downhill, because as it was said, students use AI for their homeworks, their skills do not develop, they're thinking we need to do something. But secondly, when we adopt this in secondary level, then the children coming to the upper secondary level will already have developed bad habits that they will need to be retrained. And then the young people in the upper secondary school will enter our universities and will not be happy with what they get from that level, but others can maybe adjust their ideas. I think Estonia needs to take advantage of its small size and innovation. If I listen to what is going on in Europe, there are a lot of countries where there are wide discussions about banning smartphones at schools. The Tiger Leap didn't emerge out of nothing. We sense the impact of it even today, although the awareness in public at large is quite high compared to other countries. I think our challenge is to quickly, smartly, and responsibly adopt this technology so that it would benefit the society, not taking just 10th graders, but it would need to get to the public at large. And the challenge doesn't only concern schools, but everyone, so that our people would become smarter and knew how to use it. And this would have a fundamental impact. Because otherwise we will miss out and not be in the steering seat. I think our problem is that because we are so small, we could teach AI to everyone. It doesn't only. It's not enough if the teacher can only use it, or the pupil can, or student can. The parents need to support this. Everyone needs to support this. So what is our strategy going to be like? We are doing something. University of Tartu is doing something else. Others are doing something. Regarding technology, also choices, what are we going to use? And we're looking at IT education. If there are no developers that actually can do these things, we will have to use systems made in China and the US, and we will need to pay more for these. I would like to say that a person's role in a job setting is about to change, and we do not need to train specialists for the economy of the past, because the change is already underway. And I think there are risks that need to be avoided when teaching AI. As Jaan Aru said, we should avoid empty of meaning creation of slides or something. If we have heard that 2025 is a year of agents, you give prompt a task then to a machine, and it starts to compile information from the internet. A person thinks that if I learn this, I will be more successful than others. But what they are not thinking about is that the employer can buy 1,000 laptops instead of one and run the agenda there. So we need to think about the skills that we need.
Siit selgelt kostub, eks, et meil on nagu küsimus, et
we can hear from the discussion that what are the positive sides, but as Jaan said, what are the risks involved? And there's a great detention for intellectual laziness to entertain yourself with the AI. And people had the reflex of comparing this to antiques, where people were the same and tried to do the same things. The rich people were able to delegate their functions to poorer ones or to slaves, and children were made to resolve difficult tasks, not only give orders to slaves. But what links to this question is that we are in the middle of the AI leap, and several of the panelists are involved in that to a larger or lesser extent. What will happen in schools? And maybe you can tell about the state of that project that is underway, because this will have an impact on universities for sure. Gert, maybe you can start. I can begin, then hand the floor over to Jaan, who is not maybe the slave, but he's doing the hard labor. I'm just putting down the visions. The initiative has been the fruit of many people's work. It was declared by the president on the 24th of February, but it is about taking the AI to schools to make the tools and study materials available that would be needed, to think about the skills that the teachers need. So it should address what was mentioned by Birgi, because our problem is fragmentation. we only cover a very small proportion of the education system. The universities and society at large need to be involved too. But given the large speed of the technological developments, we need to react very quickly. And this precludes doing something that is acceptable to everyone. But I think the most positive aspect was, as Birgit has mentioned, studies have shown that the biggest proportion of general education pupils use AI in some way or another. So we should direct this use to the right path so we could benefit most from it. Jan is working with the working groups that deal with the substantive matters. If you look at AI Leap and try to find information, then you will not come across my name. But since it was declared, we have been the substance team. There are spokespeople, and then there are people who work on the contents. And it has frankly been quite frustrating because the communication revolving around the AI Leap has been poor because some people just talk about whatever. They attend the meetings, but still talk about something else. And then the poor teacher hears about the AI Leap. Then some op-ed mentions risks, etc. So they are confused. The communication hasn't been the best. And the other thing that I may want to mention is that we were rushing things a bit. It's not possible to build such a system in 7 months. And I was at the outset someone saying that we need to plan better. But when the decision was taken, I said along with others, okay, let's try. And what has become clear, maybe 3 aspects, we can dwell on them longer later on. First, at the center of the AI Leap is the training of teachers, how to make all teachers understand AI to some extent and be able to teach something to their pupils. It's not trivial. Birgit has dealt with this. There are teachers who are very have expert skills, but we need thousands of teachers. So we want to develop a support program which is not about one-off training and then letting it live its own life, but we need to be involved and support the teachers along the way. The second one aspect is the application that will be made available to pupils. There's a lot of options in the media that they will receive ChatGPT, the latest version. What we have discussed and tried to achieve is that pupils would get a specific AI tool that would have the functionalities that we need. This would be an option of ChatGPT. Will this materialize? I don't know until the deal has been signed, but this has been the subject of discussions with OpenAI. The third component is that when we announced the AI Leap, it had no links with the research. And I have attended meetings where some people have said that this is not a research project. But we, being in this room, understand that if in 2 years' time or 5 years' time, want to understand whether this actually brought some benefits, it needs to include some kind of metrics of whether something improved, what was the reason for improvement. So this is something that we are working on, that we would have some kind of metrics in place. Regarding the contract, I have read about this and discussed with peers, and I've come to an impression that we are talking about a campus agreement with OpenAI, that we would have agreements with several campuses. They can log on, they don't have to pay for themselves for the use, and that it would be an adapted version. We know that there are a lot of ways of adapting the tool. You can use different kinds of prompts. You can do this. Do we know what do we know about this? Is this a correct answer? It's in essence correct. One is what the universities are discussing with OpenAI. And the other is what the general education system is negotiating. And if you adapt this, then any one of you can develop their own ChatGPT or something. You insert your prompt. You say that you need to exclude. You shouldn't give straight answers. You have to use the Socratic method. But the problem is that if you do this, then your prompt may be contradicting with the logic of the system. So the agreement with the OpenAI is that they train the needs into the system, but today we are at the end of May. Whether they will be able to do that in time, I do not know. They need a partner from Estonia for this training purpose. Yes, that's what we are doing with them, but the agreements haven't been signed, so we don't expect them to be doing this. So what this means practically, we like July, the beginning of August, but for some researchers, vacation may be off the table. I have a question that has been widely discussed among teachers. For example, if there will be a national system, pupils have already paid for the tool. Why would they be using the national system? Whether we are putting our money in the right place, if they have already paid for the tool, why should we buy it again? And secondly, when we were using the school laptops and school smartphones, then they started asking us whether they can bring their own because they're better and newer. They do not wish to use an outdated tool. Do we need to explain to the pupils why they have to use their own brain when the brain freeze occurs when they open the AI tool? We had a test in a competition with some pupils having to think themselves and the students using AI running out of ideas how to solve the task. Should we start to discuss why not use AI before they start using AI? That involves two important questions. First, let us try to imagine the dilemma where a student sees the new AI tool and asks that I need to write an essay for me. Then the AI says, no, let's think together. Not so fast. Then they, of course, closed the application and used the widely available application. So we need to explain to the pupils and students better on why they would want to use their own heads. Although people in this room understand why this is necessary, not all the pupils and students don't. And it's good that we are starting from the upper secondary level. Believe me, I have tried to explain this to the 7th and 8th graders. Some understand, but for a lot of them, this is incomprehensible. And the other aspect is that we hope if there is a class of students, the teacher can upload their own materials. And we have seen in the pilot that this is a big argument for the students that they will receive responses from ChatGPT which are relevant for the course and for the teacher. These are, not, of course, not bulletproof solutions, but these are something that we have thought about and tested. I think it would be a good time to ask about your experience. Talking about teaching, you have used AI in teaching quite extensively. It's not with young children, maybe older children, but still. I drew some parallels when Jan was talking. I was teaching a subject called Introduction to AI to an upper secondary class in Estonia. We have a program between the school and us. And I later said to our people that I do not wish to teach this course because this took so much effort. I thought that I would make a light version of the course I have at the university, but it doesn't work in the upper secondary level. For example, there were exercises where someone had to think about a solution using their own head. Then they would have to use AI for it, and then they would have to compare that. 2/3 of the pupils used AI also for the task of thinking with their own head. I do not have answers regarding delivery of this knowledge. We have to consult educational psychologists for this. But if you do something like this with the students, do you get better results? Yes. I don't know what the reason is, whether they are more grown up, they understand that they need to learn, they are motivated, and they put the effort in, not all of them, but most of them. I would like to add 2 more dimensions to this, which were touched upon already. One is the abstract AI, which has read all the libraries in the world and become wise. But the process is framed. We have some learning outcomes we wish to achieve, be it in lower secondary, upper secondary level or university level. And this is operated under the premises that the AI needs to get the materials that are underpinning the course. But with the AI leap, it would be great to upload the existing digital materials into the system. And in university, we also need to make AI aware of the materials for specific courses. This is one goal. And another topic that students have their own chat. I think this is very dangerous because we see already educational inequality in Estonia, and the opportunity to buy personal chat GPTs makes this inequality bigger. The richer kids have their own chat GPTs and the poorer don't, but this snowballs further. At university level, we get students with very divergent AI skills. So if we could make tools available for everyone, it would benefit the society at large. In the meantime, the most popular question has been posed by our colleague Kaido Kikas, who is worried about the risks. And the question is whether generative AI spread makes universities forego the mass university model and return to the model of personalized teaching and personalized examinations face-to-face, or do we not have the answer? I personally think that the change will be profound. And I think Kaido's question has a good point to it that needs reflection. This homework that is to be submitted probably will have to be phased up, or computerized tests or exams. The personal one-to-one work will become more important. And the question is how it is possible to scale this thing, because if we take our example, we have 10,000 students. If everyone would study in small groups of 20 students per teacher, we would have to have many times more teachers. So we need to redesign the teaching and learning process to get more interaction. So in the course schedules, there would be no lectures. It would be person-to-person interactions all across the board. And when then need to change the feedback and assessment system to incentivize learning, but also to manage the masses, I think the content will have to change. We went to see how Helsinki University is doing. They have made the technologies available to students and to teachers, but students get access only if the teacher says that in their course it is necessary. If the teacher deems it necessary for their course. This is one option, and the other is automated tests and automated tutors, and this includes a disclaimer that this is 80% true what you get, and if you don't if you're not happy with what you get, come and talk to the teacher. When they need to make someone redundant or make financial decisions, then they would not be using AI. But in teaching and learning, it is possible to hand over some tasks. Tarmo, can you tell about your experience? I would like to agree with Gert. Today's student is not interested in listening to a lecture. They want to discuss problems. And when I have a lecture, I begin with the news about developments in AI. They like that. They think along. When I put on the slides about concepts, I understand that I lose their interest. I'm isolated in the room. So I've tested what can be done with AI in the courses, and AI can take over the teaching process, supervising and other contacts, but the role of a person would be discussion, moderating, mentoring, maybe advising and passing on experience, this life experience and professional experience that should be passed on by a teacher. I also see a change in the role of a teacher. Maybe it's not so important for you as a teacher to be able to convey perfectly your subject, but you should have experience, professional life experience, because that's what the students want to learn from.
Või nagu tehnilisemaks, et võtame üks baka ja tavaline bakakursus õpetatakse.
Let's take a BA course. Let's just zoom in. BA, meaning something basic knowledge in large quantities. And let's say that teaching staff experience of life and discussion with the students is most important. So what kind of life experience are we talking about? What would they discuss about? People need to learn basic skills first. If they cannot multiply, they need to learn it. So it is a little bit different now. What shall we do with this respect?
magistrikursustel saab niimoodi teha, nagu sa ütled, eks ju.
I understand that in the Bachelor of Science smaller courses, maybe you can do this, or MA courses you could do this, but large bachelor courses, I guess it's not possible. I believe, says Jan Aru, one thing that applies in any of the basic school, secondary school, or university classroom settings is that when we in school, we see that there's some point in what needs to be learned. Let's explain to the people who come to the university what's the point of all of this. That every time that in the lecture they would think, why do I do this for? They would already know the answer. So the problem at the university or basic school, primary school, in secondary school is that people do not understand, students do not understand why they need to do these things. We have used the word slave several times. The slave comes and they think that they need to learn something by heart. We need to explain better what is studying and why sometimes the things, for instance, in the bachelor courses, larger courses, why they need to study these things, and these will be reduced at a later stage. For this to be effective, we need to actually explain to our first year undergraduate studies why they need to do this. So in a couple of years' time, maybe the AI Leap program, they have understood it, but we need a couple of years at least to explain to students. So clarifying, yes, I said, but we need to actually put down in a more thorough way of how things be studied and taught, and why do we do this, and why do we need to have these lectures and these general broad courses is part of the learning process. But how shall we move from here, says the moderator. I understand that one thing we need to do is for the students to be able to do mental work and do the labor. Some students think, well, yes, it would be nice, but do some other things anyways.
Kuidas me nagu selles suunas saaksime edasi liikuda? Kuidas me peame strateegiliselt mõtlema üldse?
How are we able to move on in this respect and how to strategically move further? Well, I believe that as a society, as a university, and as researchers, we need to also formulate why it's necessary to put effort into something. When I go to talk to school children, they don't know, and the university students might not also know. I can say that this is the conditions and this is the way it works. Well, yes, I understand, says the moderator. So you formulate it, you say it, and then what are the next steps? They might leave it, but also might not be enough. Yes, of course, it's also a question of, like Gert said, that you have inequality in the educational field, but I always think of in the way of percentages of awareness raising and clarifying is an important point here. But of course, the work does not end there. I believe, says Gert Ehrman, that our ways of teaching, methods of teaching need to be radically changed. So teaching staff as mentors, also human relations, etc. Like Hendrik Voll showed us in the first slides, dropouts and all the statistics. When we go back in time, 10 to 15 years, we discussed that we just put as many students as we can in one lecture room in the first semester and they will start learning. And 25%, says the statistics, left right away. They never learned how to learn. So we should actually solve a problem of how to get the personalized contact with these students and then also how to teach them in bigger masses. One opportunity there is definitely to change teaching and studying technique in a way that the students students are not just swallowing passively information, but actively participating in work instead. We've spoken about problem-based study and such in the world for decades now. Let's take a look at student Formula One. We have hundreds of students there every year, and they solve such complicated problems they will never be able to, and willing to solve them in as part of a course. But why do they apply this knowledge? Why they try is because they want to get this formula moving. But here you refer to a more applied studies, I understand. Well, basically, yes. This is what we want. We want from the University of Technology to be full of people that are able to building, as the same applies to IT or natural sciences. I believe that when we started the digital revolution, started using this, also teaching staff was told to use PowerPoint, use Kahoot, and then the students need to go to lecture hall and read the slides, do Kahoot, because teaching staff used these things. Students actually are happy to go to the lecture halls and listen to lectures if they are compiled well. They don't enjoy it if it's not compiled well. So yes, we need to move on to challenge-based studies, problem-based studies, but without practicing development, developers cannot solve problems. They need to go into this, and we need different things in different courses also. Mass teaching can be done with the help of AI, and they really the students really learn how to do the programming. Then the next lecture would be hackathon. Then problem-based study in a different way. So we need to just vary all the courses in the program in a way that it is interesting. If we all only arrange seminars and discuss, then we all have only people who can discuss things but do not know anything. So I understand a more varied approach is necessary in order to do success, right? Now, maybe let's take the discussion to understanding the ways of how we can take advantage of AI, not in an abstract way, that how it helps us to teach and what can we do in more tangible terms. And I would like to have a look at Slido where we have an appropriate question for this part of the panel. Difficult to say. Perhaps one question which is connected to it. What is the positive change in TalTech research and teaching that AI can bring along? So how can we use it better? For instance, coming to the everyday practical experience, what do you think is the most useful thing in your study technology? How you can use it in the best way? Well, first of all, I try to explain the students that when the AI revolution takes place, it takes decades, as other revolutions have. Then we have 4 classes of workers: people who use systems well. Then we have people who can configure the systems, and then the ones who can build it, the ones who understand the code and who can bring along the building blocks of AI. And then the 4th class are users, so the people who try to stay away from it. And at my courses, we try to do it in a way that we have basic courses, how we learn how to use these systems. So we see what input is, what output is, and what happens, what is a transformation in between. So data goes in, data comes out, and what is done with the data in between. It's important to understand what is the data that goes in, what comes out, and what in between in transformation happens, so that the fantasy starts to work when they try to solve their own real life business problems. I use different practical agents in my classes. Students want tutors. 125 students I have in my class, I can't talk to them all. I have solved things in a way that I turn them to create their own system, their own mentor. Google system is the easiest to work. I put data in, which is packaged. They search for more data, and they have tutors in order to help solve these issues. And I have understood that this software works so well that it does not give you answers as such, but is trying to describe what to do further, how can you create podcasts, what information you can more find additionally. So it's more interactive. And then we also create, we are organizing a big hackathon. We want to gather 300 people there. And the worries that people ask at the hackathon from mentors are usually the same, frequently answered questions and asked questions. And we create a system that answers the hackathon participants when solving these quite common issues. So this is what we discuss at the moment. We have a good developer who helps us do so. In the secondary schools, with the teachers, the biggest problem is that what is the study program we should pick to study at the university. So we have created a program which can help you with asking questions, playing a little game, and then the system detects be according to your interest the best program that you could choose. So 30% of cybersecurity, 20% of system development. So we get more students hopefully to IT domain. Yes, I believe this will be the future, definitely. I would actually go to research rather, because we have not talked about research in this context today much. When we take a look at what is going on in the world of science, we see that there's also a leap in how AI is applied in research. And I understand that the people who deal with research also have understood that AI brings along a completely different approach of how to solve these issues. The tools which enable us to do the work of which was done for years with some days or weeks. But let's give an example of an AI professor who at the top conference annually published 1 to 2 good quality articles. And this year he carried out an experiment. He took his all available research work throughout times and generated 20 articles based on this and sent it to the conference, and all of these articles were accepted. And he did it in order to demonstrate that what he managed to do per year, 1 to 2 articles formerly, based on this information, now managed to do 20 articles, all corresponding to the necessary criteria with more knowledge, etc. So this shows very well that it's applied everywhere. For instance, chemistry. How much chemistry is done in labs versus how much it's done in the computers. Let's take all engineering. With the launch of digital twins, we actually have possibility to do different parts of science. So data processes. In case of AI, we speak about the generative ways, but actually these large language models can analyze data very well and create results, etc. So from the point of research, we should also think about how to empower our scientists so that our researchers would have on the top of the world science based on the same results and do more. With Technion colleagues, we collaborate through Eurotech network. We discussed that And the next working program of the European Commission, next mandate, we mostly think about how to apply AI in biotechnology, in health research, energy, where else. So AI applications applied in different domains. So here we need to move fast in order to keep up with the times. Well, Jan, I understand that you have an idea, right? This expression on your face. Yes, you actually used the word leap several times, but leap to where? I would like to ask. Is it leap in the hole? To me, it seems that, yes, you are correct, but we see also people who publish their articles that this noise or trash or garbage of articles is ever increasing. So it's nice when your colleague publishes 20 articles, but if we all publish tens of times more, who will read? AI will read it. Yes, that's the answer, of course, but what's the point of it all? So in that sense, we need to be aware that not for all of you to run out of this assembly hall and saying that, yes, I will publish now 10 articles more. But on the average quality, the AI articles is not enough. Yes, it's possible to become better, and it's increasing also in quality. But unfortunately, I wouldn't say that in brain science or AI domain, it's in the top journals what we publish. But when we see the average journal, you read and you understand, why would I read it? Because it's written by AI. And lately, in PLOS Biology, top biology journal, there was an analysis of how in the last years you can see that AI has done these analyses because they have been done in a simplistic and similar way. They don't actually contribute not to the development of science, but we actually have references to articles which are confusing. Influence of AI to education, for instance, an article, and specialists zoomed in and read and understood that there's actually so many controversial, confusing, and false claims in these articles. Because the AI, when it analysis is done by AI, they use claims which are not logical. Normal scientists, researchers, they don't want to go through all of this, which the AI generates, and it goes into research. So it's rather leap into the hole than a peak. I hope that this is just an intermediary phase, and we will get over it. But seems that net advantages to the research it's not clear. Well, yes, but we need to then empower ourselves. We need to use this responsibly to us, not just to press the buttons, get the results, and just go. That's what I'm saying. That not all young people who are here and now take your advice and go and write 20 articles with AI. Well, just to take advantage of some aspects, like Estonians, we are not native speakers of English, so try to word it in a way that write an abstract in a good way, get some ideas of how to formulate, correct your, edit your wording and spelling, use visuals, for instance. Yes, empower, but at the same time, let's do these 1 to 2 very strong articles than just produce AI garbage. So in this station, you say that 10 articles not good, but 5 is enough. Well, your university needs to decide, but I would really look at how. Tamara, you said that there are 4 classes of people in the future. I would say that there's a 5th one as well. These would be human intelligent engines who are using AI. They are not on the top or excellent, but the best person in certain fields, for instance, in the field which I am involved in, can actually make deeper conclusions, get deeper results than AI does. And that's why we should push now that people, with the help of AI, could and should do innovation themselves. And we should promote this in Estonia as well, that it's possible if we do it in an intelligent way. So innovators than the fifth class, seems to me, says Jan Aru. But you also know people who do not use AI but are very innovative in their approach. At the beginning of the semester, one student said that yes, there is a fifth class as well, and these are owners. So owners who own all this technology. We have not talked about intellectual property either. You said the teaching staff that should include the materials in there, but the materials they have not created themselves. The AI have created them. So what they've created belongs to somebody else. There are quite some also legal problems. It would be nice if we could not prompt or train also textbooks in it, but then there are legal problems because publishers of textbooks do not want it as well. But if you have a small GPT, so materials which teachers have made themselves, or if they have legally bought a digital textbook. We had digital transformation project that we have understood that teachers have creatively owned somehow the materials that they have. As Margus Püüa is here in front of us, you have had a project of personal learning path. I understand it in a way that we could automate how much we can train one or the other program, and so that people could train things better. So with the help of AI, we could actually create this situation. It was unreal before. Have you heard that somebody is dealing with this? Is it an acute topic at the moment, or is it something for the future? Is a relevant topic. If we take a look at the AI Leap press release, personalized was used twice at least there, because I said that this word comes too frequently in this short text, but this personalized edge is definitely something which is emphasized quite a lot. I believe that's maybe even overemphasized. It does not happen so. So the question is, well, it does a bit, because when AI has memory about the certain users, it is repeated. And we see also in this AI systems that this memory is increasing, and OpenAI also says that it's reality in the near future. Tarmo, please. We take a look at how the situation is at the US universities, then we see that human competence is going down. So it's more trade schools, vocational schools to really learn skills. And from the point of view of the employers, there are also courses and micro-degree programs. Definitely micro-credentials is what our university is using and offering. So good skills.
I think there's a difference between university level and secondary education level in terms of how smart the learner, because we have seen an explosion of MOOCs. You can attend whoever's course, but it lies under the premises of the student being smart enough to know what to choose. If the person using AI has an understanding on what they need to learn, it is possible to build on that. And I'm convinced that when the university doesn't want to change, the external environment will inevitably change the university. The university is not where you meet the scientists, because you can take a whole curriculum through Coursera, but you need to know what you want to learn. So the AI can be a tutor who helps you to choose and select the courses to achieve a profile. Previously, one had to do that yourself, but for universities, we need to become a meeting place, not necessarily the place where knowledge is shared, but to the place where discussion happens. There is a very short, specific question, very popular. What will be the role of dissertations? What should become of them? I think it's specific to the field of studies, but if we take all the fields where you have to actually do something, nothing will change. The fact that a person uses generative tools for illustrating the text, for example, if you want a good article, you ask ChatGPT to make it better. Everyone likes to read a smooth text, because the bar is set higher regarding what is A or B, because we can presume that anyone can use good language. Bad language is just an indication of laziness that you haven't used the tools. As soon as you take a more humanitarian discipline, the question becomes more pertinent. If a learner doesn't want to use AI, will you say that you wrote the dissertation yourself, but it's no good, you should use AI? You cannot tell someone that I want you to think for yourself, but maybe you should use AI so I can give you a good grade. I have an example from Eindhoven University of Technology, where there's a professor who even for a comma mistake is not ready to put the best grade to the student, because if they are so lazy, then then they are not worthy of the best grade. In the School of Economics, where the dissertations are different, I see the dissertations becoming more data-centered as businesses have become more data-centered, and I think this should be stressed. And in the work that I supervise, I always stress that they should be data-based. In the future, for example, an overview of literature and even data analysis becomes less important, but working on the data compiling, aggregation, and like, if a student is employed by a company, they can use AI as much as they like but the biggest problem is with humanities, where the dissertations are very verbal. I can't think of a good solution, but maybe some dissertations might be, or parts of them should be a long writing session in the classroom with 4 to 5 hours of work in the classroom, so one can ensure that AI is not used. This was just a random thought, maybe there, but I have thought about a trivial thing to maybe employ. I have a tendency to, I always have exams on paper with a pen, never in any other format. They are very, it takes a lot of work to read them through. Maybe I could use image recognition and transform it into text for better reading. Can you read their writing? And a student who has never written anything by hand apart from in your classes, then it takes a lot of time. Yes, but can I make my life easier in that situation?
just eelmine nädal ühel koosolekul meil oli mingisugune brainstorming.
Last week we had a brainstorming and we had ideas on post-its, different handwritings, different people. We use technological tools for drawing conclusions. The tools are becoming more capable day in, day out. But a person is not able to write on paper. If I wrote something to you, it would be a catastrophe. I copy and paste all the time. It will take time, no problem. I can accept that. This is the real AI leap. So your topic is bravery, and I'll give you a white paper, and will I pass? No. Let us take a few more questions, which have been endorsed by the audience. A question we have touched upon, but how to achieve this? Maybe we have checked knowledge, and now we should start checking skills. But how would that work in practice? Just briefly, in some disciplines, knowledge and skills are very closely related. If you're a researcher and you're tasked to write synthesizing articles, the fact that you know how to do it is linked to what you know. In some other disciplines, maybe they can be separated to a larger degree. If we look at the standard for higher education, then we should measure skills, knowledge, and values. That's difficult. Technology can be used, but if they create a bomb and takes it to war, will that be okay? Values, I think, will become more important. How I use the tools, why I learn them. Maybe we should put more stress on the values. Putting the effort in is also a value. And the teacher has to live and demonstrate it, that this is what we value. Anything important that we might want to reflect on, ask about, share? I have this idea that we are about to finalize an AI fundamentals course where our peers share their experience, and this material will be made available to colleagues quite soon. We have a URL for that if you are interested. This is in the initial stages of getting something out, so it's not ready yet. The URL is simple, ai.taltech.ee. We will compile their university-specific materials. As was mentioned, the ethical and legal frameworks matter, the data, confidentiality, etc. We would have guidelines, legal acts, and materials there. They are going to be aggregated into one site. We have champions. Tomorrow there will be a meeting of teachers in a smaller group where I would like to convince them that we have teachers using AI in teaching who might be ready to share their experience. So if starting from August you would like to use AI in your courses, you would have peers to learn from and to ask questions from, and we will also aggregate references to materials compiled by other universities. Take it as a compilation of best practices, and of course there are the tools. We have the negotiations with OpenAI for general education, and we hope that by autumn we will have open AI education licenses for universities so that professional tools would be made available. July will be separating us from the result, or then it will be cancelled, be it on a beach or in the office. But we need to work hard during the summer months. And I will have to put pressure on my peers to get things done. Do not cancel July. But in August, everyone needs to make the extra effort to learn something new. But you mentioned this aggregated information. Is it AI or TI.TalTech? Both abbreviations URLs work. And we will communicate this when we get the oven fired up and more materials present on the site. But if you are very enthusiastic, you can look there and link along. The site already exists. So there will be maybe news about when something is going to be made available, so you should check it out. I understand that you are both heavily involved, Birgi and yourself, and there are a lot of people exchanging information on this. It's not just a few enthusiasts, and I think it's very important because this is very experimental. There's no knowledge about how to use AI in teaching. It's taking baby steps everywhere. And what's good is that the rector's office has taken this as a priority. We used to have an AI focus center which dealt with AI in research as its focus. Now we have a broader perspective, and we will see who will be the owner of this topic in the new rector's office. But the objective is horizontally throughout the university, that people would be aware of what can be done, that there would be no misconceptions of something being banned, or that we would be informed users. Any specific conclusions or final words? Let's have a round of all the speakers. There's a saying that if TalTech is doing well, Estonia is doing well. And we can see that from our dissertations, IT has developed this technology and offered it to the society, and our students are saying that it actually works and the productivity is harvested, and we will gain from this. The dissertation by Helerin that I mentioned at the beginning, this cannot be implemented because the regulation doesn't allow this. The world is not ready for changes. Very exciting. I would say that AI is here to stay, and the more we can take advantage of AI in our interests, the more time we will have to do something we like. Let us use AI, but to support our heads. This is the resource we have in Estonia, and we need to amplify this good. Thank you very much. It was very eye-opening and informative, and thanks to the audience and to the people who posed questions. Unfortunately, I was not able to ask them all, but I was able to ask the most popular ones. Thank you.